I don't know what the average pay for a teacher is in New London. My guess would be when you start, you can start somewhere in the 40,000 range. There are people making 80. But let's go to your principals and administration who are all making well over six figures. Now, well means 120, 130, 150. I believe the superintendent of the schools was making 200-something thousand. I may be wrong. It may be 180. But when are they going to stop? Every time they get more money goes to administration and not as much to the teachers. And this is one of the big problems. And they're saying the kids aren't educated. The money doesn't go toward the kids. It's true, it doesn't. Because my wife is an educator, and we see this every day. So how much money did you waste on these baseball caps and the masks when this could have gone to something better for the teachers who deserve it because they do an unbelievable job? If you think teachers only go to school at 8 o'clock in the morning and teach and come home at 2, you're absolutely wrong. Go ask all the parents now who have had to stay at home because of the coronavirus, and the kids have had to be on computers and Zoom video to help teach their kids. It's hard work. Teachers are on the computer 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day teaching these kids. And if you think it's easy, those of you who are not teachers really ought to try it. For me, I've always told a joke that I could never be a teacher because for me, if I was in a classroom, I would have hooks all around the walls. And if a kid got out of line, I'd put the kid on a hook. And my wife says you can't do that. And I said, that's why I'm not a teacher. So, when kids are bad. The little ones, you'd be surprised when she was a third grade teacher. Second grade was great, she said, but they become third graders, and all of a sudden these kids have mouths on them. They are cursing at the teachers. They are fearless until the teacher says, I'm calling up your parents, and the kids go ahead, see if I care. And when they finally do, now they're shaking in the boots. A lot of these kids are not good kids, but a lot of them are really good kids. You've got about a 50-50 situation. And it's all because, and this isn't racism or anything like that, this is because single-family parents, both parents have to go to work, no father in the home who wants to help, multiple kids, and it goes on and on and on. So, and this is a fact. Probably more so in New London as well.
I found your kid on a hook.
You got my kid on a hook?
I got your kid on a hook.
Oh, you do? There you go. That's what it should be. So, if the kid doesn't, more than likely the kid's going to love it. But I'm going to ask Keith to give the phone number. Because if you want to call in, please do. It's what?
The number's on the screen.
Oh, it's on the screen. So if you want to call in, please do. So, 860-626-5193. 860-626-5193. I'm not going to be like, who was the guy who's tried radio for a time? Are we having any calls? Well, I guess I'll have to just talk. If you want to call in, please do. I'd love to hear from you. So I've gone through the Board of Education and the wasted money New London gets every year, and they keep asking for more and more and more. Now, nationally, they want to defund police, and they want the money to go towards education and other programs. How much money, and the example I can only tell you is New London, how much more are we supposed to give New London when they've got the budgets of a lot of schools can reach 85% of the budget, and the state gives maybe 50%, and then which is about $50 million, I believe it's in New London, and another $40 million goes to, from taxes, goes to the Board of Education. And New London usually has something where about close to $90 million, so that budget may be $45 million now. That doesn't leave a lot of money. You're talking $45, $50 million when you think about it, to fund the rest of the city. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'd rather see a lot of money go to the police, the firefighters, and public utilities to take care of the cities. Now, everybody keeps... my question to people out here, and I always revert back to the Lee Elsey show, which is on 94.9 FM from 6 to 10. Well, he had an amazing show on Friday, which was 7 hours, and I could not listen to all of it because I worked a few hours during that time, so I caught bits and pieces. And the people he had on were all the black people who were on the left, and he was answering questions or giving questions, and they were trying to answer, but they did not answer a few questions. And I would like to find out, because a lot of these people were from schools, young kids, and he even had one person, I guess it was in the studio, because all these people did come to the studio, supposedly, and they were saying the reason why they feel the way that things are right now, which isn't the first time this has ever happened. This has happened before. When I grew up in the 70s, 60s and 70s, when I was 17, 18, we had bomb scares. In 1970, we had to get out of the schools. We had the Black Panthers. This isn't new, but it's gone to a different level right now because you've got people who have... a lot of the protests, which are supposed to be peaceful, have not been. And it's been blacks, whites, Hispanics, I imagine. I haven't seen them in there. But I'm sure there are a lot of different people in these protests, which is fine. I have no problem with Black Lives Matter. I have a problem with the black people saying that's all that matters. Because I have told you time and again, to me, Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, Blue Lives, the police itself. I wouldn't go kill a cop, but you don't hear any of that on the news, the lame media news, CBS, NBC, CNN, which is the worst, MSNBC, all these other places, the morning joke that everybody likes to listen to, or the Rachel Maddow, who's another big joke. It doesn't matter that they're telling you lies. And I talked about a book a couple of weeks ago, America Black and White, by David Barton, that was written about how Lincoln freed the slaves and the Democrats prevented the black people elected to Congress and the Senate from taking their seats. What don't you get? Why are you still voting for Democrats who don't care about you? And if you think they do, why do they think all they want is power? They want to criticize, which I guess I'm doing right now against Democrats, but they want to criticize Trump for everything. What has Trump done to you to think that he's not for you? What did President Obama at the time do for the black people? Nothing. Obamacare was a joke. You can save $2,500. You can keep your doctors. You can do this. You can do that. And it was a joke. And it was a lie. Trump had the lowest unemployment. How many times did I have to be told to you? Had the lowest unemployment of every ethnic background. Ever. And it would still be low if it didn't happen with this coronavirus. Who the Democrats blame on Trump? Now, how stupid can one person be? That's like saying, I'm going to make sure everybody gets cancer. Is that a stupid statement? You're damn right it is. However, my question to the people who were at Lee's station, which they did not answer, these young people, how are you oppressed? What causes your oppression? Because I don't see it today. I hear all the time, especially in this area, how blacks get elected or hired to big positions. I had no problem about hiring anybody. If I had a business, if you're qualified, sure, I'll hire you. I don't care what color you are. I've never cared what color anybody is. And I grew up in a mostly white town, but we had black friends. It didn't matter to us. How have you been oppressed? Please answer that question. Because if you say, well, over the past 200 years, then you're a liar. Because that oppression had nothing to do with you. Slavery had nothing to do with you. There is no slavery, technically, and I'm going to expound on that, in the United States regarding blacks today. There hasn't been a black slave since 1863, is it? When Lincoln freed the slaves? Now, there is slavery today, and it's probably mostly in the Chinese communities, in the big cities, where these girls come over, pay big bucks, and they get put into prostitution. They get put into sewing mills. Don't believe me? Go into New York City. Go into San Francisco. Go into the big cities. They probably won't show you, but this is true. And they never get out of their debt. That's slavery. I think if the police wanted to do anything, they should go after every pimp, after all these people, and arrest them and free all of these people. But then you've got the Chinese mafia, you've got the Russian mafia, you've got the Italian mafia, you've got the Hispanic mafias. I mean, the drug cartels. Go against them and they'll kill you. I don't understand how people can't. I think if I had to take care of this, we know where they are, bomb the crap out of them, get rid of them. We know those are the bad people. We know where the Taliban is. Bomb the crap out of them. Get rid of the bad people. There are bad people in the world, unfortunately. And it sounds like recently today there are a lot more bad people than not. You want to?
The human race is going to have to evolve before we get rid of all the bad people.
I guess you're right.
We haven't evolved yet. We're still a bunch of ape animals fighting each other.
Fighting it, yeah.
We're a virus to this planet.
But not as much so in the United States as it is other countries. Look at China and North Korea and Cuba and all these countries that are run by dictators. Don't call people who call Trump a dictator show your ignorance. You really do. He's not a dictator. He doesn't tell you what to do. You still have free speech, and against what the Black Lives Matter and the left want to do is take away your freedom of speech. That's your First Amendment right. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody in government today that comes nearly as smart as our forefathers. And now you're looking at people who want to get rid of statues of George Washington because
God,
he
the
was a slave
statues.
owner.
The statutes. Oh no, a piece of rock.
A piece of
That
rock
that resembles somebody or something offends you.
How is it
Oh
offend
my
you?
God.
Yeah, the people that want to get rid of that are doing the Columbus statues today. Think about it.
That's horrible what they did to the Columbus statue.
In New London, it is, and we've
Bunch
got,
of animals.
Yeah,
bunch of filthy animals.
And how about that? Our wonderful mayor is not going to prosecute any of these people that defaced. That's a crime. So he just shows how coward.
Because here in New London, Connecticut, we support filthy, rotten animals. That's what we do here in New London, Connecticut. We promote them. It's true. If you're a filthy, rotten bastard, come live in New London. You'll be welcome here.
I remember
God,
years ago, I remember that people would tell me that came in from Puerto Rico or from the other Latin countries that landed in Miami, and there were signs down there that said, "For the best welfare, go to New London, Connecticut." I'm serious. That's what they told me.
Yeah.
And you got all these people. My thing is get rid of welfare. Force these people to go back to work. You need money? Fine. We'll give you money. Go clean the streets. Why is that job beneath you? Give me a broom. I'll go clean the streets if I didn't have a job. I'll go pick fruit and vegetables. I've done it before. Has anybody ever gone blueberry picking or strawberry picking?
There's tons of fishing boats that are looking, lobster boats, fishing boats.
Actually, I need to. Oh, if you do, I've got a friend. He wanted me to do lobstering with him.
New London Seafood Distributors, right down here in New London.
Yeah. So, I guess we didn't have any phone calls. Or do we have any comments about oppression?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Obviously,
Gina Deborah Carter says hello.
Tell Gina as always hello because she's the one person who does comment, which is nice. You're also calling for. Well, for one thing, the Columbus statue in New London was removed. It has not been said where it is. It's in a hiding place because it doesn't deserve to be destroyed. Now, I'm not a big fan of Columbus. I wasn't here in 1928, when it was given to New London by the Italian community. It was just a token from the Italian community. I'm not even sure how they felt about Columbus, but everybody thinks Columbus was this, Columbus was that. And I heard from a caller on one of the shows that actually there's nothing that was said that Columbus was a tyrant or anything. Do I believe? He said he looked it up and everything. There was just one thing, but I don't know. Do I think Columbus ought to be honored in the continental United States? No. He never stepped foot in the United States. The United States have problems? Do they have this bad history? Yes. I mean, we took away the Indian land. We made them speak English. A lot of speaking English is supposed to be our national language, but you certainly can't tell in the urban cities that there are a lot of people who will not speak English. You see that in the Hispanic communities all the time. I see it all the time when I go to do patients. They can't speak English, but they've been here for 20 years or more. Why can't they speak any English? Why do I have to start speaking Spanish? Not that I'm not willing to learn, because I have learned some to get by with a patient. I even learned some Chinese because my wife is Chinese, and that's Mandarin. That's Mandarin.
Oh.
So, I'm more than willing to learn. But it should be, you want to come to this country, you should and you want the freedom. Why are you carrying your country's flag? You want the freedom, you should want to come to the United States. You should be wanting to carry the American flag, which represents freedom and liberty. But you've got people who obviously don't agree with that, and they would rather kneel. And these people who are kneeling, let's go to the NFL. How oppressed are these players in the NFL? And all these players and a lot of the millennials today, you want to get rid of capitalism and you want to have socialistic tendencies. Well, name me one country, honestly, that has run well with socialism. Can't go to Venezuela, can't go to Cuba, can't go to North Korea, can't go to China, can't go to Russia, maybe a couple of the countries in Scandinavian countries, but heavily, heavily taxed. You don't have any country other than the United States that has the freedom that it does have. And we were told today that there was a report or a poll that said 65% of the Americans are not happy about living here. Well, why don't you go somewhere else? Because you're hypocrites.
I can't go to my doctor's office anymore.
Why is he so?
I will not go to a doctor's office because they have a statute in there that offends me. There's a statute
Of?
in every doctor's office. It offends the shit out of me.
What is it?
And I can't look at it. It offends me. It should offend anybody. Especially it would offend women.
What, the skeleton? Oh. The scale. That's
The scale.
You know what? My grandfather was a doctor, and I do have his scale, an old scale. And anybody want an old scale?
This statute
Now
offends me, and I want it removed from all the doctor's offices right now. And I'm gonna next time I go to my doctor's office, I'm gonna spray paint it red. And oh, did you see what they spray painted right outside our building here?
No, what?
Okay, I'm gonna drop the F-bomb, ladies and gentlemen.
No, don't.
Well, we can.
We can?
Even on public access, we can.
Okay.
They spray painted, this is not for me to say for just entertainment purposes, but there's this thing going on called, let me switch to both cameras here, hold on. There's this wonderful thing that the gangster rapsters are singing out there, and it's called Fuck 12.
What? Yeah. What does that mean?
That means fuck the police.
Why 12?
Because that's in the gangster rap. That's what they in the drug dealers, the drug peddlers. That's what they call the police. Are 12.
I mean, I found.
So these protesters, these protesters are running around New London spray painting "fuck 12" on everything. They spray painted police cars. They spray painted that on the statue. They spray painted on the police substation down the road here.
Okay, I didn't know what that's what they spray. You know, the problem is you lost your validity for the protesting.
I used to have support or give support for BLM. I kind of saw what they were doing, but after they spray painted "fuck 12" just outside my building here, you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah,
I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at that shit.
No.
Why do I got to open up my window and look at that shit? Now I gotta get on the state of Connecticut to go out there and go clean it up. The graffiti all over the place.
And so why should we have compassion for you when you don't have any compassion for anybody but yourselves?
Sorry about the language, but it is what it is. It's right outside my bedroom window.
You lost the validity after they committed the violence, started the looting, which you ruined businesses.
In your own neighborhoods.
And you're defacing property. All of this is crime. And you want to defund the police? And you wonder why people get hurt? It's because people like you, not just blacks, I'm talking about protesters, that violate the laws. You want to defund the police? Who are you going to call when you need a police officer? And there's no police officers to call anymore. You can't call Ghostbusters. And who are you going to call in Seattle? You're going to call those, let's call them militiamen. that took over that 6-block area in Seattle.
And now we go into the topic of mental health treatment.
Mental
health. You have a bunch of leftists with mental health issues that are doing this. You got to be to sit there and flip a police car upside down and then light it on fire. You've got mental health issues.
Yeah.
To go and destroy your own neighborhood mom and pop shop, you have mental problems. And there's a lot of I notice on the leftists, on the left wingers, a lot of them have serious mental health issues. And maybe they're not being treated. Maybe the doctors need to be...
I'm tired of somebody that has a little issue calling themselves mental problems and stuff. You know what?
Mental is not a little problem. It's a big problem.
No, it's a big problem. But
look at Sandy Hook.
All these new things coming up. If anything comes up, I need to call it this and I need to call it that. Yeah.
Look at Sandy Hook.
I know.
Sandy Hook, that guy had massive... Him and his mother both paranoid that the society was coming to an end. She was armed to the teeth with guns all over the place. God knows what her kid was thinking. And her kid goes into a school and blows a whole school up.
And you know what offends me more than anything else? The people that said this never happened. It's a tragedy, and it is. But there are too many good people out there.
That's because of mainstream media running the same video clips over and over again for 2 days straight. It looks like everyone's going in circles on video.
I'm not saying there doesn't need to be any changes. Yes, there needs to be changes, but peaceful changes. When you commit violence and looting, those aren't peaceful. When you're defacing, it's not peaceful.
Leftists. Antifa.
You're not helping your cause. In fact, you're hurting your cause. And until when you get this through your thick heads, maybe things will change. But defunding the police, you're looking for problems.
Do you know what they did to Antifa? Antifa?
Do you know what that stands for?
Anti-fascist?
Anti-First Amendment.
Anti-First Amendment?
That's what anti-FA, Antifa. That's what I found out. I heard that's what it meant.
Well, they got designated as a terrorist organization.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
So,
rightfully so.
How is their cause anything positive when they've been designated a terrorist organization? At first, they were something that was supposed to be good, and now they're a terrorist.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No problem. No problem. I'm glad just... Oh, did you hear about the burning down of a Wendy's in Atlanta after a guy was shot? A black person was shot again?
Oh, jeez.
Now, let me ask you something.
Listen, all you idiots out there, all you're going to do is... There's this thing called martial law. Martial law. Keep on playing around, and that's what you're going to get. That's what we're all going to get.
How is burning down a business going to help your cause? Answer me. How is looting going to help your cause? You're stealing all these mom and pop shop stores that have worked hard all these years because you people, and I'm talking about millennials, don't want to work. You don't like capitalism. How do you think, let's go back to the NFL and all these other sports, how do you think all these people made their money? It wasn't socialism, it was capitalism. That's how things get better. You have the right to come to make whatever you want to make of yourselves. And you want to look like WeTV, growing up hip-hop, or from Mama June, from bad, from good, from not to hot. I mean, you're talking about ugly and fat in these shows, in that show. You're talking about growing up hip hop, and they're all black, and they're all privileged. Why aren't the white people or the Chinese or the Hispanics angry about this? We're not. I'm glad people are making it in this world. But you want to take away people who have worked and give it to people who refuse to work, it's not right. Where are your morals? Where you want to feel oppressed? That's where oppression should be what's going on right now. It shouldn't be what's happened 40, 50, 60 years, 200 years ago. That's the way the world was back then. It doesn't affect you now. Like Lee Elsie said, I am not going to apologize for being white. I didn't have a choice in the matter. But I wanted to be a professional baseball player.
You know, there's a song we have on United FM Radio Jams. It's called White Boy.
Yeah.
White boy, don't say that.
Yeah.
White boy,
Yeah, but
you're bad.
yeah.
That's the lyrics.
But the other thing is, I was sent to a Ted Williams baseball camp when I was young, and I was a good ball player. And then my senior year in high school playing soccer, I broke my jaw.
Ooh.
And I was wired up for 5 weeks. And when spring came along, I was doing really good in the tryouts for the baseball team. And one day I walked into school and I had sharp pains in my mouth, in my jaw. And I had to go home. And then the second day it happened again. And it turned out I needed root canal work. And I was getting root canal work, and I was on pain medication. Back then it was Darvon. And at 17, 18 years old, you don't know what's going on, really. And it affected how I was playing. So I was cut on the last day of the cut. And my mom went to the coach and told him that I from my broken jaw that I had the root canal work and wired up and on medication. Once I had the root canal work done, it was fine. I was fine. But would the coach give me a second chance? No. I was thrown down. I should have tried again the following year, my first year of college, but I didn't. I was in accounting. I hated accounting. So I went into the science field and became a physical therapist. I've been a physical therapist for 45 years. I didn't let that the baseball situation get me down to that long. There's other things to do, and I've done a lot of other things. This is what Lee Elsie had said too. You get thrown down, you pick yourself up and do something else. And unfortunately, a lot of the people today just would rather protest and blame everybody else for their problems and not do anything to help themselves. So it's time to stop the blaming and get on with your lives to do something productive. But obviously, you'd rather protest. The people out there would rather protest and continue to loot, deface, and cause damage. And if that Wendy's in Atlanta doesn't reopen, and you people are complaining in Atlanta, well, we had a Wendy's down here.
They should never reopen it.
No, they should never reopen.
It should just remain there as a pile of burnt ashes, because they don't deserve a Wendy's.
No, they don't deserve.
They don't deserve a McDonald's. They don't deserve a Burger King. They don't deserve anything. All they deserve is burnt ashes and a lot, because that's what they want.
Yep.
So don't rebuild it. Do not rebuild that Wendy's. They don't deserve it. Sorry,
I'm glad you're jumping in, because that's what Dennis and Mike would do, and I would want them to do. This isn't about me the whole time.
And I'll tell you, I have a Hispanic neighbor, beautiful lady, awesome neighbor, and I have a black neighbor, and they are the nicest people I've ever had. I'll tell you who's not nice are the ones who are out to start a race war. There are people working very hard to start a race war, and I think you got the ball rolling. Unfortunately, there was a map that was thrown up on one of the news shows, map of the United States. If anybody saw that, it was all red.
except for the urban cities which were blue. This is the problem in America. All these urban centers, again, are run by Democrats, and they've run them into the ground, and people can't get out fast enough now. And what do the urban areas have to do? These mayors that have taxed people so high, they don't know what to do. They're going to tax you more and everything else. Now you want to defund the police, and who are you going to call when something happens? Don't blame them. Just keep voting those people in. You'll see how well your cities do. In Seattle, they're run by militia. They're carrying
the militia,
like AK-47s.
The militia ain't playing around. The militia actually posted a comment saying that if you think you're going to come into our town and burn down our businesses, well, I don't think so. You're going to get some lead.
What businesses? They're crying they don't have enough food. The city had to come in and clean out the porta potties. This is their town. If I was in that 6-block neighborhood and I owned a shop, I wouldn't open it again. I'd tell them, screw you. You know what? You got rid of the police, and now you're going to have militiamen who don't know law and are going to create their own. I guarantee you, somewhere along the line, there's going to be a lot of violence.
Good luck. Good luck dealing with the militiamen because, they're armed to the teeth, unlike the police.
Right. The big thing about all of this, there is a letter to the editor in the Day.
I support the militia.
Wonder of the Day. Do you?
I love the militia. I support them 100%. Have good job, boys. Go get them.
There is a letter in the Day. I keep calling it the New London Day because that's the way it was. It was Sunday, June 14th. It's one of the best little letters to the editor I have seen, because I have said this I don't know how many times. Defund Congress. Do you know your congressmen, your senators work an average of 177 days a year? Now, the last time I looked, there was 365 days to the year. Where has Congress been during this whole 3-month period? I know the Senate came back, but I don't think the House came back yet. What are they doing? Why do they have to always pass their laws or vote at 12 o'clock at night? What do you do during the daytime? All they're doing is nothing. Let's defund Congress. How about taking away all the money, the $170-some-odd thousand they all get a year, because they certainly don't earn it, and give it to the people? How about term limits? You have term limits on the president. Why don't you have term limits on Congress? 2 terms is fine. No pension. No health care. That's the other thing. Do you know that when they pass laws, it's for us, but it doesn't apply to them? When Obamacare was passed, it did not apply to Washington. The Congress, the House, they have their own special plans. Did you know that? This is another problem. They don't follow the same laws that they pass for us. Term limits. No pension. Go back to work. That's it. And let's see how they like it. Nancy Pelosi certainly couldn't get along like that. There's no way. New London invests in cops, not kids. That's a lie. That was written by Daniel Spur of New London. That's a lie. God. It's an absolute lie.
Can I see that?
You certainly may.
Where is it?
It's right there. Here. Then our wonderful editorial section in the Day. This is, again, Sunday, June 14th. Now,
this
David
is
Collins.
Pathetic.
It is
Where
pathetic.
do these people come from?
Well,
in recent local news tells a story of where our city's priorities lie. New London is hiring 8 new police officers while cutting hundreds of thousands from the Board of Education's proposed budget. The message is loud and clear to our youth who have been marching in the streets protesting racist police violence and calling defund the police.
Which it's New London Board of Education gets money every year. They always want a very high
What is this shit?
budget, and they know they're going to get cut back down because New London can't afford it. We are a poor city.
So the message is loud and clear to our youth who have been marching in the streets protesting racist police, spray painting statutes that mean absolutely nothing, defund the police. Mayor Passero, did I say that right?
Yep.
The city's council is passing this budget, continuing to New London's commitment to prioritizing spending on public safety. We need...
You know,
Listen,
you know how many
listen,
people
you
are in
idiot!
public-
Listen, you idiots! You idiots! Okay. A car right down the road, a car came through the intersection of Coit J and Hempstead Street, crashed into a side of a house. Their officers here were investigating. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, just south of the hospital, there's a home invasion. Home invasion. Someone is breaking into someone's house while they're sleeping. No units available. I hear that came over the radio. I have access to I behind my green screen here is thousands of dollars of communications equipment, scanners, ham radio, you name it. If a frog farts in the city, I'll hear it. I know what's going on. I hear the calls every day. When you have a home invasion in progress and no units available come over the radio, I'm sorry, but that's sick. That is disgusting. That is deplorable. So for you to sit here, what's his name? Is his name on this?
Yeah, at the bottom, David Spur.
Daniel Spur. Daniel Spur, you were an idiot. You were an idiot. I don't even know how this got in the paper in the first place. But you were a blazing idiot.
If you read the letters to the editor every day, that's the reason I even support this paper, because my wife wants something to read in the morning. I want something to read, but she also likes the puzzles. I like the puzzles.
This is dinosaur. This is dinosaur media.
Yeah, well,
this is dinosaur
London,
media.
The day is just.
So give this guy a voice.
That's like the New York Times. All the news that's fit to print and
can I have this?
Yeah,
because I'd like to wipe my ass with this.
Okay.
Right on this. Right on his name, Daniel Spur.
Keith, the other idiot part of this is that people want to vote by mail. Now, you can vote early, but they want everything to be a vote by mail.
We have a caller.
Okay.
I got to go to the other side to get it.
Oh, okay. So, voting by mail should be illegal. Totally illegal, because you're going to invite voter fraud. Hello, you're on?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my couch. I'm one of those people that don't want to.
What town are you calling from?
On my couch. I'm calling from down around the street.
That's Dennis.
Dennis from New London.
Oh, hey, Dennis. How we doing?
Hey, good. I just tuned into you guys, and I heard you talking about getting 6 or 8 more cops in New London.
Yes.
And they want to get rid of so many school people. I don't know what they're talking. Are they talking
teachers, administrators, what? Yeah, they want to get.
About getting rid of.
It's and Dennis, that we don't have enough police officers. We're low on police officers. I think, what are we down? We're at 78 or something. We're supposed to be at 92.
Well, I know we're more than we were. Last I knew, the time when Passero became mayor, his approach was going to be he wanted to get to 80 right away, and he's slowly getting there. But the thing of it is, this is the problem, and I hope people in town have some common sense. Maybe if they hear it from maybe if they hear from out of a different venue other than the TV, maybe they'll think it's somebody else talking the truth, and they'll believe them and not me when I do it on TV. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, 6 more cops. What do we know about these cops? You think they're going to stay here? They might have to stay here for a certain amount of years. It might be a contract that says they have to stay because we're going to pay for their schooling and become a cop.
Right.
As soon as they're able, if things in the city don't change, they're going to be gone. You get 6 new cops. How many of them are going to say, well, I won't feel so bad now if I leave. So you might get a few that will leave. So then you're back to where you were. Folks, you've got to clean up the city. You've got to, more cops, more administrators, more teachers. All this stuff actually means nothing if you don't have people that want to move here and invest in the city. And when people that are thinking about moving here sees what's going on here, they don't want their kids coming here. And they're not going to pick up roots from wherever they're living now, because there's not that many top-notch jobs. They're not going to come here and have to worry about if they're going to be safe, have to worry about if they're going to have to listen to firecrackers and stuff all night long, because the city has totally lost control of the city. The mayor's lost control. The police.
Oh yeah, we've been hearing fireworks all night, every night.
Oh, have you?
Every night we hear fireworks.
That's the start up until the July 4th. We do that. We've gotten that sometimes in our area. But Dennis, do you, New London. Do you know what a New London officer gets paid? A new one.
Last I knew, I believe they started out around 64.
Is it that much?
I thought it was less than that.
I thought it was less than that. And school teachers, a brand new school teacher, I think starts somewhere in the $40,000 range.
I thought you said police officer.
I know, but I didn't think police officers were paid that much to start. If they do, I'm happy. But it's still not enough, Dennis.
The city is also paying for their education to be a police officer, and that's an easy $200,000 tab.
Yeah. Oh, I understand that. I do understand that, and but you're right. Once they're here for a few years, the same thing with the school systems. You're here for 2-3 years, and you realize, wait a minute, I can get paid more if I go across the river or if I go to the next town. Why should I stay in New London? New London pays crap.
Not only get paid more, Eric, but they can also be someplace where they're safer. That's the big thing. Everybody talks about people being safe, and everybody talk about people wanting to be safe that want to come and live here. Well, what about the cops? You have some people, some bad cops that are doing bad things.
Yeah.
True. You have some black cops doing bad things you don't hear about. You have black cops doing bad things to Oriental cops you don't hear about. You're only hearing about the white on the black cops.
That's the only thing you hear. You're right.
That's all you're hearing about.
That's right.
But it isn't like that. But that they want to be able to go to work at night, have a quiet night or during the day, and come home to their family.
No,
Believe me, no wife or mother wants to have a doorbell ring in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, when she knows her husband has been out on the street patrolling.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm not disagreeing with you at all, Dennis. This is,
they will not even arrest the people who defaced the Columbus statue.
Well, no, that was because of Passero. He decided we're not going to arrest these people. They have them on camera. They should have been arrested.
All right, my secretary over here looked it up, and a police officer makes between 56 and 65. Yeah, 56 and 65 to start. Plus benefits.
Oh, I don't know. To start.
So with benefits, you're looking at close to 80.
80?
Yeah.
Okay. The number in the line, 80 police officers.
That's the goal they were striving for.
And we were at 92 at one time.
Yeah, we were higher than that, I believe. We had cops walking the streets.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
We had the chief of police.
Why would
who would walk in the streets, patrolling the streets?
But you've got people asking today, Dennis, why would you want to become a police officer?
Because there are people out there that want to become a cop for the same reason they want to go to some country they know nothing about and protect their country. They feel in their heart that this is what it's meant for them to do, and they're doing it because they want to help.
They want to help people. And all you've got in these.
Yeah, women are doing that too. And the thing I'm trying to get across to people in New London, and from everywhere else. Look at the people that are destroying our city. I guarantee most of them don't even live in this city.
That's what I was going. How many of those signatures to get rid of the Columbus statue? I think there were over 5,000. How many of those 5,000 signatures of those people actually lived here?
Did you see a list?
I didn't see the list, but that's what I heard. It was over 5,000 signatures.
I didn't see no list.
Well, this is what was said.
Don't you think it's up to the mayor to show the people of the city of New London the list?
Well, they were supposed to discuss it with the city council, and you know how bad the city council in New London is.
Why would they go to the statue at 5:30 in the morning to get rid of it?
Well, and
And don't tell the press or anybody.
and did you see the cost of getting rid of that statue?
What's that?
Did you see the cost of getting rid of the statue?
How much was the cost?
It was $10,000 to $14,000 to move that statue to an undisclosed place.
Oh, I know where it went. It went to the same place the Ocean Beach Clock went to.
Where?
Ocean Beach Clock. And you remember that cannon they had up the street from you guys?
Yeah.
Well, wherever the cannon is, that's probably where the statue is too, along with the clock.
I was told it was put in a building in an undisclosed place right now.
Yeah, it's easy to say that.
I'll put it in a city that will appreciate something nice.
You know, you can't keep getting rid of all these statues across. They want to get rid of this Washington statues now because he was a slave owner. That was what was normal in that time. You're talking about the greatest president we've ever had, one of the greatest men we've ever had. All these people back then were so much smarter than anybody is today.
All right, I want to give you one more thing, guys, and then I'll hang up.
Okay.
Let you continue. So the Columbus Square statue, they want to get rid of it for what they claim he did, and it offended people. The Southern generals and soldiers, they want to get rid of their stuff because who they represented, and it offended people.
Right.
A lot of business, they claim it's offending people. They want to get rid of it. Well, look, I really like what Martin Luther King tried to do. I would never dream of his statue being taken down. Never,
Right.
ever.
Right.
But I tell you what, I'm not crazy about Malcolm X. I'm not crazy about Farrakhan. I'm not crazy about Jesse Jackson.
See,
I'm not
it's okay.
crazy about, so as far as I'm concerned, being a white man, I'm offended. I want them statues taken down.
That's right. I am
Good night.
offended by what those people you said. Did you hang up already? Okay.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I'm offended by Farrakhan as well. See, it's okay for the black person to be against the white person, but it's not okay for a white person to be against somebody like Louis Farrakhan, who's a known anti-Semite. It's not fair. It's not, how you want to talk about where there should be a protest? How come the
protest? You want to
protest?
talk about injustice?
Yeah.
What would happen if we had a white entertainment channel on cable TV?
Do you know that they took off the show Cops, and there's another cop show on? They took it off the air because of all this.
Yes.
It's been on over 25
yes,
years.
I know.
33 years.
You know what's an injustice, Dennis? Why is the statue of Martin Luther King white?
I don't know about that.
I do. It's not.
never
It's
even
not
heard
painted
that.
black. It's white. Why wasn't it painted black? Or why isn't it black?
To be honest,
I would be. I would be offended by that with what the protesters are saying today. It's ridiculous, and the whole thing is, we've got to get rid of the politicians we have in office today and get new people. We've got to get rid of this recidivism. You've got to get rid of people who all they want to do is have their hands out and get free welfare. It shouldn't be easy to get welfare. In the old days, you had to show up. You had to show that you were looking for a job. Not today. It shouldn't be that you get paid more by being on welfare than getting a job. It should be so.
It all needs to be changed. I give you that.
You're right, and we need people and we need to change the day and get rid of people like David Collins and the publisher not the publisher, the Paul Schwanier, he couldn't write a decent column about the president if he tried. This president has tried harder than any other man who's ever been in this office. And like I said, how many times he could be the cure. He could cure cancer. He could cure all the ills of the world, and he'd still be reviled. And this is what David Collins. You want to talk about a racist? Talk about David Collins. So anyway, all right, Dennis.
Hey, Eric,
I hope you feel. Good luck with your surgery tomorrow, and call me and let me know.
Thanks a lot.
All
Just
right.
remember, people out there, it's going to take us all to change this.
It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. So, anyway, all right.
Melissa, hang it up.
Okay, so I think we've run our gambit for tonight. I appreciate everybody out there who's listening. I'd love to see some comments, see if you hate me or you like me, or get off the air or whatever you want me to do, but I appreciate it. And to let the people in the Atlantic Broadband area know, whoever has Atlantic Broadband, public access TV shows are going to start again in July.
Does that mean you're
the week of
leaving us?
July 9th. No, 6th. Absolutely not. So if you want to see those shows, those start again on July 6th. I'm not going to leave United FM Radio. Thanks to our host here, Keith. He's made it very nice for us to come in here and once a week and talk to you.
Don't forget, these shows that you see on United FM can also be presented on public access TV.
Okay.
Because we take this show and we burn it to DVD, so
right.
you can also play this on public access.
And you do YouTube, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
We like having you.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. Appreciate that. All right. So until next week, I'll look for somebody to come with me. If not, I guess it's just me and Melissa and Keith again. I appreciate that as much as more than you know. So until next week, thank you very much. Have a good week.